Hello, and welcome to Homework Hustle, the podcast that promises to help you raise your Einstein without losing your sanity. I am Shubhada.
I'm Sheetan Kapoor.
And today we are tackling a topic which is very tricky for parents. We struggle with it without really knowing what is the best way to solve it. Writing, handwriting, all those problems. Right from resistance to writing, to poor formation of letters, to incorrect writing of words and letters. There are a number of issues that we face with our child. And today we are going to discuss all of that. And as you know, Sheetal Kapoor is an MSc in Child Development with 30 years in education. There is nothing that she has not seen or tackled. At the very beginning, why do we still have so much trouble with writing? You know, Sheetal, there seems to be so much happening across the world in the field of education. And we're talking about technology, we're talking about AI, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. And here we read all that, we think about all that, and we come back home and we are down to, solving that 300-year-old problem that my child is not able to write for properly. What's happening here? Why has no science broken through with this basic problem that, every parent encounters?
Yeah, so what we look at is the end product which appears on the paper. But what we don't look at is the hard work that goes behind writing skills. Writing is not about what we see on paper, but it is a culmination. It is an end product of so many skills that have developed or need to be developed before what we see reproduced on paper. Every parent has only this angst कि मेरे बच्चे को लिखना आना चाहिए. Correct? As soon as the child is born, we are very happy when the child is wriggling their fingers. And we are very happy when the child is around 1.5, 2 years old. We thrust a crayon or a pencil in his hand. And then we want to thrust that writing instrument into the thumb and forefinger as it should be and force the child to write. But we don't realize that it is not only the thumb and forefinger that is involved. It is your wrist that is involved. It is the stability that is involved. First, the child needs body stability. That poor kid cannot even sit straight, cannot even walk straight, but he is expected to write straight, right? So the first thing that we require is postural stability. Very, very important. Till the child is not stable in his or her own posture, how will you expect the finest stability, that is the thumb and the forefinger stability, to come in, right? It's not fair on the child. So it is postural stability, it is fine motor skill stability, which we also call as pincer grip. There's
So pincer grip, just to
the thumb and
the thumb and
the forefinger or the pointer finger.
Something, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Then there are spatial skills. Spatial skills, the space around us, right? More often than not, if you have observed very little children, they have an unsteady gait and then they go and plonk themselves in between something, even if there's no space over there, because there's no judgment. That judgment comes along with slowly. Now, how is that related to writing? The child has to write on a line. The child has to write within a space. I go back to your example of writing number 4. There is a spatial skill. The two lines of 4, the vertical and the horizontal line, they have to connect somewhere and one line has to intersect. Correct? Now, all that is spatial skills.
Right.
So that is very important. Auditory and visual memory. What I hear and what I see. If I'm telling the child, write number 4, the child has to first visualize number 4 in his mind, right? And only then he can reproduce. Or even if there is copywriting, he has to look at what it looks like and then reproduce it.
So what we are essentially saying is, it comes together, in the physical development, there has to be some kind of mental development.
Correct.
And writing is the culminate all of that. Now, I, as a parent, how can I aid this development? What can I do with the child so that the developmental milestones are as they should be?
Allow your child to play. Very, very important. Various activities are there. Allow the child to play, allow the child to explore, crawl. Even if the child is looking at things, picking it up, tearing things, all these are important. Of course, you can't give your valuable papers to the child to tear, but it is important to give old newspaper, whatever, to tear, to scrunch up. Anything that the child can do with their hands. Very, very important, because the finer motor skills, developing them, and the tracking ability of the eye. That means to follow an object with their eyes. Very important, because if now consciously as an adult, Shubhda, when you're watching or when you're reading, do you move your neck left to right? You don't, right? You move your eyes from left to right. That is the tracking ability of the eye. When you're watching TV, when the scene changes, does your head go left and right? It doesn't. It is your eyes that move on the screen. So it is important for the child to explore. It is important for the child to be able to use their hands. It is important for a child to run behind objects. Seeing the cause-effect relationship. All this is important.
All this play actually
Culminates into
developing. That's very, very
As
interesting.
our main aim is that the child should be able to write. The child will write eventually. Puri umar padi hai. The child will write. Allow that freedom of exploring. Aata is very important. Aata de do bacche ko. Give them big objects to separate out. Give them, as they grow older, smaller objects to separate out. The segregation is also very important as a skill. So all these develop your the vision, the auditory vision, and it also develops your recall skills.
Okay.
Important.
Okay, got it. So, coming back to writing, my next question is, let's say that developmentally those milestones are there and there is no problem per se. But there is this resistance that we encounter from the child when it comes to writing. I don't know. It's to do more with writing than with any other. If there is a chapter to be read and the parent is reading, there would be less resistance. Any other kind of learning activity, there would be less resistance. But when it comes to writing, the child takes another avatar.
So the parent, not only the child, even the parents expect perfection, which is not fair. Not at all fair. Also, sometimes what happens is, I'll come back to perfection. First, where does the resistance begin from? The resistance begins from when the child is not ready. When the child is not ready to write physiologically. Right? So, what happens is, till 3 years, we should not be giving them anything to write. Let them explore, because their wrist bones haven't developed. It's not only the thumb and the forefinger that needs to be developed, it is also your wrist. Mentally, just imagine yourself writing. Is it only your thumb and forefinger that you're using, or are you using your entire wrist and hand? So it begins from there, where we force the children to write before they're physiologically ready. So therefore, they don't have enough of strength. Because they don't have enough of strength, they feel tired. And because they feel tired, but the task is there to be completed, so they develop a resistance right over there. Secondly, adults expect perfection, and when they do not see in their mental imagery, they have this fixed connotation that the letter F should have a fancy, ball up there, and it should go in a very fancy curved manner. And if what you have perceived doesn't match with what the child has introduced, that aggression comes out in the form of either erasing very, very vigorously or tearing. Now that becomes very threatening for the child. And it becomes a form of rejection for the child. Parent erases and expects the child to write, oh God, look at your letter E. It doesn't even look like a letter E. Now you need to write it 10 times. Boredom sets in. So it is a vicious cycle that we are getting stuck into. The perception of what we perceive as perfection, what the child looks and how he imagines it, there's a mismatch. The parent gets aggressive. The aggression is taken on as resistance, as a personal failure, and the child resists.
Okay. So my next question is, therefore, when we are about to give a task to child, what should be the boundaries of that task? How should we make sure that we are tasking the child correctly when it comes to giving them writing tasks?
So age appropriateness is very, very important. When they are very little, just give them things to do, whether it's paper tearing or it is sticking or whatever. Even if you're giving pre-writing tasks, it has to be more on the lines of tracing something or folding something. Don't jump to writing. Letter A. What is letter A comprises of? There are two slant lines which come together, and then there is a sleeping line which intersects. So for that, language is also very important. The child needs to have developed that language. Instructions
To understand what they are being asked to do.
Instructions have to be very, very clear. Also, the Gregorian age, we were always teaching cursive writing. But now what we are reading is not cursive. What we are reading is print. But we are insisting on cursive. So there is so much of confusion in the mind of the child that I am writing in cursive but reading in print. So there are two tasks that the child has. The consistency is very, very important. It is important for the child to know what is expected. And lastly, it is important for the child to know the right from the wrong. So if the child has written letter A, but you think that it is not correct, show them what it actually looks like, and then let the child match it to what he or she has done. So self-correction is very important. So let the child identify that, have I written it how it should be, or is there some deviation? If there is some deviation, what is the deviation, and let them self-correct it.
Okay, so let them find their own mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, Sheetal, I'm going to do a rapid fire. So these are problems that actually parents have written to us about or asked us about. Very, very specific problems. I think every child is different and the problem that they, encounter is different. So one by one, I'm going to ask you about the problems that come and if you can advise and guide the parents on this. Wrong formation of letters or numbers.
So how they should correct it?
Yes.
Show them what it actually looks like.
Correct. Okay. Spellings.
Spelling, sound. Very important to teach the children the sound before you get into spelling.
So phonics.
Phonics is very important.
Okay. Work which comes back written incomplete from book or blackboard.
Children need to be cognizant. We need to make them aware what complete work looks like. And if it is incomplete, we first need to identify or talk to the child that what would have helped him complete the work. That is important for the child.
Okay. And lastly, it's a very strange problem that most parents face. In fact, I believe when children start writing, a lot of children goes through this problem, but the parent gets disturbed writing in mirror image. So, if the 7 is to be oriented towards the left, it's oriented towards the right. And if really wondering what's going on here, why can't the child understand or see that the 7 has been written in a different manner?
Okay, so the answer to this is in your question itself. Direction is very important. Children need to know the direction, words, right? And spatial skills I've already spoken about. So when we are talking to the child, even in our day-to-day life, children need to know left and right, up and down. So direction words are very important. Self-awareness is very important. The left hand and the right hand.
Essentially, what you're saying is they need to know from which side is the sleeping line starting and from which side is the diagonal line
Correct.
starting. Otherwise, what they are really looking at is just a sleeping line and a slanting line.
But
So,
the direction words are important.
and if you've not instructed the direction, then, a slanting line can go either way.
Yes.
Essentially, that's what you're saying. Okay, so that's like very insightful. Okay, now my next question, that finishes the rapid fire and you won the hamper, Sheetal.
Thank you. Where is it? I need some goodies in the hamper.
Yeah. Okay. Sheetal, we are hearing, and of course, you have also been talking about it quite a bit. The post-COVID challenge that you are seeing in that batch of children, which actually didn't go to school during COVID in their early years, and they are, they probably started directly at grade 1. And the writing challenges that we are facing with those children, and the parents are also, getting stressed about it. Any tips for those challenges?
So what got compromised basically were fine motor skills and gross motor skills because we were more visually engaged during that period. Everything was more visual, whether it was learning, which was on Zoom, whether it was the content we were consuming. So we were more visually engaged than our other skills. So there was a setback. The basic thing that children, especially in the foundation years, lost out on was a simple skill of copying from the board. There was no board. So the visual guide that is there, where we read a sentence and we reproduce it, that visual guide, that stimuli was completely missing. So there was a lot of setback for children. It did take us some time in the school to cover up that gap. It took us a good 2 years to cover up that gap, but slowly children are back on track. They are good listeners, but when it comes to writing, it becomes a little problematic for children of that era. But slowly, yes, a lot of stimuli, again, a lot of gross and fine motor skill activities need to be given to the children so that it can translate into writing skills.
So we're talking about activities like, tracing and
Yes,
worksheet based.
absolutely.
Those kind of activities. Okay, Sheetal, I think we are at the end of this session, but a question on, a 30,000 feet question. There's so much technology enablement that's really happening in our lives, and the cars are now self-driven. So will writing continue to be of significance?
At least in the early years, writing will be of significance. Maybe in the high school or in the later years, no. But for early years, writing will be, and it should be, because when we are writing, if you have noticed, all your nerve endings are in your fingertips, and the learning is stimulated through those nerve endings. So writing will be there and should be there for the foundation years and the middle school years.
So you're saying it's important from a developmental point of view as well. Don't look at it as a, an output that, don't look at it as a task that they may not need to do, but you have to look at it as something that enables learning and development.
Yes.
Right. Okay, all right. So that completes our today's episode. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you are notified when a new episode is posted. You can also visit our website www.brainology.com to see the kind of learning books we have for your child, fun to solve while they develop various skills from logic to math. You can also follow us on our Instagram handle Brainology1, where we share a lot of suggestions on how to make learning successful at home. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep hustling.